Discussion. DeSoto?
Yes.
For which, do you have anybody up here? Oh,
Yes, there's some board members on there.
okay. Back in, whenever that was, June of last year, I guess it was. The topic of you guys' island and the width of the road came before us. And we asked that it be moved. In the meantime, the island be removed, or the road width go to 20 foot on either side, 20 contiguous feet. In the meantime, the fire marshal got involved and a lot of attorneys got involved. But the main reason we asked that it be removed is it was never approved. It was never brought before the planning commission and approved as an addition to the Desoto Lane. The fire marshal issued an opinion which said he felt like it was safe enough, and a lot of time has elapsed. However, that island and those two narrow streets have still never been approved. So, what we would like you guys to do is come up with an idea, either removing the island, stretching the roads out, something that will get you guys into compliance and get approval for that road.
Well, and I guess I'm confused. When I came here in June or whatever that was, it was on an appeal because of the decision of the inspector, Corey.
No, you were scheduled to go to the Board of Adjustments for that appeal. And Nicole, you may have to help out here.
Okay. Well, and okay, but I guess what I'm asking now is that everything there, every piece of concrete, every piece of asphalt has been there for 25 years?
But it was not on your site plan.
It wasn't on the site plan.
It was never approved.
It's been there for 25 years, and the city's been providing water in there, you've inspected houses in there, everything's been on for 25 years, and now you're going to come and
Ask you to do something to get it approved. I mean, that in a nutshell is what we're saying. If you want it to stay, you need to seek approval to have it stay. You have a similar smaller island on the addition, the one that goes around to the west, the road that goes around to the west. When that site plan was submitted, that island existed on that site plan. And even though that road too is not 20 contiguous feet on either side of that island, not this planning commission, but the planning commission that was sitting up here at the time that addition came around, approved that site plan with that island in place. The island that is the source of contention in your neighborhood has never been approved.
okay, well, and it would have been put there when the original gates, and if you look at the map, if you look at the drawing, there were gates. Yes, it would have been put there.
There was no island on the drawing.
None. Zero.
Well,
The concrete
it just
abutments.
says gates, that's all it
So
says.
the concrete abutments were there.
But I'm assuming, because there were electric gates there, that center piece, the median that we're talking about, is where the keypad was, where you push the buttons to go into the addition. It had electric service, so I would assume 25 years ago there must have been a permit, or they wouldn't have even got the electricity to run it.
You wouldn't make any assumptions.
Well,
The gate was on the plans. Our gate was on the plans.
The gate
So-
was on the plan.
Right.
The
Got
island
that by
was
having
not.
but
it
the
on the plan.
details of how the gate was put in, I tend to agree with you. I wasn't here 25 years ago.
Well, we were here
We were
25
here.
years ago.
Well, I wasn't. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't here 25 years ago. The developer put that in. The developer put the gates in.
But we can't know that for certain. I mean,
What can you not know? That the developer put in the gates and then.
developer,
You also- now,
well,
you
your
did
gate
give-
was moved. for
You
one
did
thing,
give a
from the
valid
original.
permit to move the gate from where it was at to the new location, when the developer opened up the other area, correct?
That was probably never permitted either, the moving of the
I
gate.
doubt it,
I
because
don't
the,
know.
Because there's
Unless they
electric put
included
in
it
all
when
that.
they
Now, all
got
of
the
this would have
complaint.
been done through the developer. I mean, the HOA, no one else said, the developer done that.
Well, and we harken back to,
Okay,
it was
was
never
never
approved.
approved.
okay,
So
well,
you have to have it approved.
if what you want is a drawing of what's there,
No,
I'll be happy to
want
get
No, we want a drawing showing it in compliance.
Because we,
Well, and then that is a question of compliance. Because the way that I read state fire code,
we're not
And
We're not
based on
talking
that.
about fire code, we're talking
No,
about zoning ordinance.
This is not being based on fire code.
it's been based on the zoning ordinance.
Right.
okay, so, well, I'm talking about the 20-foot road. 10 foot on each side adds to 20. It's actually 11
No, actually it was
foot
30
in-
feet, it
in-
was 15 on each side.
One way requires 15.
I don't know what it requires now. I don't know what y'all want out of us. The developer put this in 25 years ago. It's been there for 25 years. I don't know what you're asking us to do. You should have took care of that with the developer 25 years ago.
What we're talking about now, trying to get you all into compliance.
So what you're saying is the city let the developer get away with something.
We
and
don't
now you
know
wanna
if we're
come back
gonna
and
put
make
that
us
outlet
pay.
in there. Let's back up. You just said you weren't here 25 years ago. And this particular board was not watching over things 25 years
Well,
ago.
and I agree.
Whether or not that developer built that island at the time that subdivision was created is unbeknown to all of us.
But it was on none of the site plans and plats that were submitted to us.
It is not on the approved plan. That we do know. That is
So
fact.
whether it was a developer or subsequent to,
Well, I know that our attorney built his house in 97, and it was there then, and the gates were there then.
The gates indeed probably were there.
Well, you have to have the keypad to open the gates. That
You
was-
don't need a 6-foot wide island necessarily. That was not on the site plan.
I'm just telling you, it was there when he built in 96.
Okay, we're just offering you an opportunity to bring that into compliance. Otherwise, we will have to make another decision on whether or not it's stays. And rather than push y'all down that road, we're trying to give you the opportunity to bring it into compliance and draw it on a plat so it can be approved. Is what we're doing.
Can I ask, so it's out of compliance because you don't have the permit? Is that the part where we're out of compliance?
It was never approved. And the roads are not in compliance with road minimums.
And you say that's 20 feet for a one-way street?
15.
15.
15 is the minimum, 24 is the maximum.
Well, and I guess what I would say, I say this with all respect, I didn't come here to make a decision tonight. I came
We
here to
don't
have
know.
a
We don't
discussion.
want a decision. We don't-
And I'm gonna have to pass that back through our attorney. And I'm assuming that you are also requiring all these things of every other division in the city of Dauphin.
Can you show us?
Like Audubon and all of those who have gates as well, and the Sandcastle and all those condominiums,
If
that they've got 15 feet on each side of the gate.
We can
That the
see
road
what
is
the
we-
sandcastle has a single entrance and it's wider than 15 feet, but yes.
Okay, because fire code would say 20 on that.
And if the plat for Audubon shows that there was a gatehouse on either side, you know, and road on either side, then, yeah, at the time it was permitted, then it's legal. What we're saying here is the plat for DeSoto Landing does not show the aisle.
Okay, well, like I say, I'll talk to our attorney and we'll see where it goes from there. I honestly don't know. I mean, for us to come back and spend a pile of money doing the developer's job doesn't make sense.
You know,
Because that's what it's boiling down to, is you want the HOA to do what the developer should have done.
well, there are other issues that we are not addressing tonight, but your circle does not meet what's on your plat either, quite frankly. The circle was supposed to.
And I would go back to, guys, that was 25 years ago and a developer.
But it's still wider than was permitted.
Well, and 25 years ago is when we should have figured that out.
I didn't even live in Alabama
I
25
tend
years
to
ago.
agree with you, neither did I, but you're asking me to spend money, my money and everyone in that neighborhood fixing something that some other people within the city let go 25 years ago, and it's going to be an expense to everyone else.
Had your HOA had complaints about this?
Excuse me, ma'am?
Had your homeowner association have complaints about
Only
this?
one.
Yes. That is why it's been brought to the attention of Town Hall, and that's why Town Hall became aware of the fact that it was not in compliance. And that is the way most regulations work just about in every town around. Is one person complains, and ergo, a process gets rolling. It's like your neighbor's dog barking. I mean, you call the police, the dog gets shut up, next thing you know, you got an ordinance about no barking dogs.
But I assume with building, it was like building a house, and the code enforcement officer shows up, make sure you build it like you're supposed to do it.
If it had been on your plans, then that could have been done.
Well, and like I say, 25 years ago, I can't tell you what happened.
And we can't either. So to make any supposition about 25 years ago is nothing yet.
Jerry, you can't argue the fact that this was some error in the past when you didn't pull any permits for the palm trees and the rock.
You don't
All of this
pull the
is
palm-
mean spirited. It was done to prohibit boats. You rerouted the traffic.
Ma'am,
You've done everything you can to hassle boat owners.
no, I haven't, John.
And I'm over it.
I haven't, John.
Yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
Well, there's,
As a matter of fact, you don't pull a permit to plant trees in a median
You have no
or
right
in
to
flower,
be
in flower beds.
gentlemen, we're
Who
not
puts
here to
anything
argue.
in a roadway?
Y'all can do that
Who
out.
puts anything in the middle of the roadway?
You have, as you said, you need to go back and
Yeah, I'll
talk to
visit
your
with him.
HOA.
This is- And just out of curiosity, I know that the city supports fishermen and boats, and, right? I mean, we all enjoy our fishermen and our people, we all do that. But I noticed that we're planting trees and stuff in the median between the two roads, and I assume it's to keep people parking wrong and driving through in the wrong places and going, it's really for safety and beauty.
No, it was really for beautification.
Yeah, so, and
The
it
town
is.
received a grant to beautify the island.
And I agree with you completely. Now, would it be odd for me to tell you you hate boaters because you're making it pretty? And because we can't park out in the median and leave our trailers and pickups there like we used to? And,
I'm not understanding
well, that's the same
how
logic
that's
I'm hearing behind me.
relevant to the subject of
Yeah,
the
I support you. I think it does look beautiful. It is. I'm quite, yeah, I think it looks good, what you're doing in the median.
I just was gonna say, I think we need to get around to at least talk about time frame as to.
Yeah, I would,
And can I ask you to send it to me in writing, please? That way it goes,
I have no
We
problem.
can, sure.
yeah, I mean, we need that.
So all I was saying is, you've heard what the request is. I guess we need to come up with some kind of a, agreeable timeline of when you all can bring back something has been requested. What's a reasonable period of time? I think we need to kind of have that so that we're all working off the same page.
And as soon as you give it to me in writing, I'll be talking to my attorney tonight anyway.
Well, yeah.
But as soon as I get it in writing, we will respond appropriately. And,
And we'll address the
Yeah,
timeline in the letter.
yes, and I'm good with that. Just would like it in writing so that I don't mess up and speak out of turn or do something wrong. We want to follow the book on this. And,
If we tell you to have it at the May meeting, you have to have it in for 15 days. Is that too soon? You want to go to the June meeting?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking him.
well, and,
What can he meet? What kind of deadline can you get us an answer?
Usually he's pretty quick.
Okay, so,
I would think in 2 weeks an attorney should be able to give you an answer.
okay,
We thought the fire marshal would give us an answer within
And
a
he
few
didn't.
weeks too, didn't we?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I
and he
understand.
didn't. So,
Well,
I was just
in the
asking to make
event-
sure.
In the event there's a problem, I will let you know.
Okay.
Ask, okay?
So we'll hear from you and, so we have it by our next
After
meeting,
we
because
get
our
the letter.
deadline is in 15
Yes,
days.
sir. I'll let you know.
All right,
All right, so I'm looking for one more motion.
I'll make a motion we adjourn.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a motion by Pat and a second by Neil to adjourn. All in favor?
We didn't get much out of them. Very good, guys, thanks.
8 years ago, my HOA put barriers in the middle of the road to prohibit me from getting my boat in or out to my house. I had built 27 years ago. It was approved and permitted. I built with 32-foot pylons. They took away that right illegally. The town ordered the removal. They redirected traffic, which is hazardous because the oversized vehicles have to go into the outgoing lane because there's not enough room. This was all done for meanness. This is the road that the HOA designated as the oversized vehicle route. As you can see with my little truck, it was an asinine move. Here's a few reposts from over the past few years. The first one is Troy Galat. He's the town safety officer. Here's an engineering report I had done by Driven Engineering in Mobile, and a copy of several of the letters that were sent to the HOA. Jerry Wisenhunt, HOA president. 3 years ago, the HOA pulled permits, gave sketches, and detailed actions that they were going to correct the safety issues. They did not do so. I had the town safety building officials come out and measure because they weren't providing enough clearance. They repaved twice, but still were far short from what they agreed to do. Safety issues. The turnabout has been destroyed because they didn't do what they said they were going to do. Today is January the 23rd, 2024. I received this email along with the other owners of Desoto Landing a couple days ago. He says it very well.